Good afternoon. It's so wonderful to be here at the 2019 National Association of Broadcasters Convention. I am honored to be the guest of Adobe and Evolphin on the Adobe stage. My name is Roger Chung, and I'm the Director of Content Production at KQED. But before I tell you a little bit more about KQED, let me acknowledge some important people in the audience. From Adobe, a special thanks to During Gleaves, the product manager for Adobe Audition, Nikisha Koss, who's the product marketing manager for their Pro Video unit, Lisa Hanna. Over time, I have worked directly with these great Adobe folks and many others, including Van Bedien and Carl Soule from their Adobe Premiere product line. And these guys have made our use of Adobe products more effective at our station. Evolphin is a media asset management system, and my company, KQED, is currently planning an implementation with Evolphin in the very near future. And joining us today from Evolphin is Raul Bargava, who's the Chief Technology Officer and founder, Brian Ahern, who's the CEO, Evan Michaels, who's the Vice President of Product, and Patrick Murphy. All these gentlemen have asked me to share with you the great diversity of work that we do at KQED. So thank you all for inviting me to be part of this Adobe experience. So what is KQED? KQED is Northern California's public media station. For 66 years, we have been serving the San Francisco Bay Area. Southward, we cover parts of Monterey and Santa Cruz. We cover the entire Silicon Valley. Northward, we go upwards to Napa and onward to Sacramento. And I'm excited to share with you some of our current work.
This hour, thousands of Bay Area students are leaving their classrooms for the walkout to protest gun violence.
Showing that our generation isn't desensitized and we're actually making a difference.
I'm Devin Katayama. Welcome to The Bay, the latest podcast from KQED that helps you make sense of the daily news. One story, one idea each day, bringing you as close as we can to the people and places that make up the Bay Area.
You know, at some point, we've got to write a different story here.
I'm sad to say that it's still a work in progress here in Richmond.
This is the California Report. Good morning, I'm John Sepulveda. 431 parents who have been deported to their countries of origin, their children left behind.
It has been a crazy, wild ride since the stunning election of Donald Trump.
And that's why we're launching Political Breakdown.
We'll join you every week to break down the latest political twists and turns. I'm Scott Schaefer.
And I'm Marisa Lagos.
This is a special election night edition of Political Breakdown.
Yeah, we're talking governors, congressional races, the U.S. Senate race.
Tonight on KQED Newsroom, San Francisco has a new mayor.
I couldn't believe it, to tell you the truth.
Because we're a donor state, we already send more money to Washington than we get back.
Multiple fires continue to rage out of control in Sonoma and Napa counties.
The region's beginning to witness one of the most severe disasters in decades.
Blocks of homes burned down, major businesses burned down, like nothing we've seen here before.
A team of KQED reporters combed through thousands of hours of 911 calls.
Structure fire, 4 structures on fire, resident trapped.
Entrapment 3029 Atlas Peak Road.
These people are out of options, you know. We need to start evacuating these people or it's going to be tragic.
Systems broke down. Systems that you count on in an emergency.
Thousands of firefighters are battling wildfires throughout California.
The Mendocino Complex, the state's largest wildfire on record.
What is the California dream today? And whose dream is it?
Michael Krasny with a live studio audience. And this is my 25th year as host of Forum. Bay Curious had a big sophomore year. We launched a newsletter, we grew our audience, and we just answered so many new questions.
All new episodes of the Mindshift podcast.
This season, we're exploring relationships in the classroom and outside of it. These are stories you won't hear anywhere else.
On the weekends, we focus on what makes the Bay Area a unique place to live. We bring you up-to-date news and connection on air and online all weekend.
So from the video, I'd like to ask you, the audience, what are the platforms of distribution that KQED serves? How many of you saw our work as a radio station? Some? How many of you saw our work as a TV station? How many of you saw our work as a digital online content provider? And how many of you saw our work as podcast creators? KQED is a unique station. We are one of a few media stations in the country that is a combined PBS and NPR member station. So we do both television and radio. In fact, KQED is the #1 radio station in our market, one of the largest NPR stations in the country. And if you believe everything that Wikipedia says, we are the largest, most listened to public radio station in the entire United States with approximately 1 million listeners daily. But at KQED, we do more than just traditional broadcast. We also distribute our content online and on mobile platforms, and we distribute originally produced podcasts. We are one station that does it all. KQED is a station that proactively addresses the continuously changing media landscape environment. And in this era of content, mobility and convenience is everything. Digital content or on-demand content is not new. It's been around for years. I like to say that it started with TiVo. And of course, on-demand video, as you know, is now curating content and producing and distributing content by platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and others. Even American Online, remember AOL? They tried it. Yahoo is trying it, not just with news, but with original content as well. In 2017, Facebook got into the game with Facebook Watch. And just a couple weeks ago, Apple announced that they're investing more than $1 billion in original content. And likewise, in the audio arena, we are in the midst of exponential growth in the on-demand audio area. There is seemingly an insatiable appetite for on-demand audio. CBS News reports that there are approximately 630,000 podcasts currently in existence of every conceivable topic. And just last year, approximately 200,000 new podcasts debuted. By next year, 2020, it is projected that advertisers will double the amount of money they spend on podcasts. So for all this demand, content producers all across the globe are trying to keep pace with 3 trends. 1, the type of content we provide. 2, how we deliver the content. And 3, how the audience engages in the content. So first, let's look at the type of content we provide. For content creators like myself, we say content is king. While TV and radio are still very relevant, especially in regards to breaking news, consumers also want to occasionally pause from this relentless news cycle and experience curated content, especially about life, culture, and community. This is why producers, distributors, and now even platforms like Netflix and Amazon have invested heavily in original programming. And we see similar growth in the on-demand audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and Radio.com, and many others. Producers like us are trying to keep pace with individual consumer demands for curated content. At KQED, we have approximately 54 programs. This is just a sample of our programs. These programs run the gamut of TV, digital, on-demand, video, and podcasts. Several years ago, KQED invested in curating digital content. We have an arts unit, a food unit, a science unit that produces a 4K nature series called Deep Look. In our news department, we produce both short-form and long-form programs. And as part of our original mission, we continue to produce educational content to aid teachers, students, and the community. To the second trend, how we deliver content, as you know, there is no shortage of distribution platforms. At KQED, since we are a PBS member station, we receive programming from PBS and other public media partners that we air on our local station. Likewise, we produce 2 original TV programs, one news and one entertainment, that we distribute online, on TV, and through social media, and on the PBS On-Demand platform called PBS Passport. We have 2 short-form documentary programs that we co-produce, and we also acquire original programming from independent producers. And in similar fashion, on the audio side, we receive radio content from NPR and other audio public media partners. We also produce regular news updates, news stories, and other original programs. And all this content is shared on broadcast, radio, on the internet, and on mobile platforms, and on the latest audio gizmo, smart speakers. And if that isn't complicated enough, at our station, some of our TV shows are broadcast on radio. Some of our radio programs are turned into podcasts and vice versa. Many of our content, or all of our content, whether it's broadcast or digital, is promoted across all the social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, and on other online platforms like Amazon Prime, Facebook Watch, and Vimeo. This is a complicated web, sending media to all various platforms, and it makes me dizzy just thinking about it. And certainly this complicated matrix certainly has many production challenges. As I mentioned, the most recent trend in content is audience engagement. With all the content in the entire world that is published and posted every day, media, entertainment, and other producers are shifting a lot of resources to audience insights and audience development. Before, engagement was about the number of views and the number of listens. But now, engagement is more than just views and likes and listens. Measuring shares and comments and other metrics are the new key performance indicators for content impact. Obviously, this information helps inform an organization's strategy about what type of content to produce. Already, this is a lot, but there's more. In order to keep pace with forecasting the future of digital content, many public media stations, such as KQED, is participating in the Digital Culture Accelerator initiatives to adopt more digital native ways of working. This isn't just about producing content, but about improving the full gamut of a public media consumer's experience in the digital age, including strengthening content and community engagement and membership. But for me, improving the full gamut of a consumer's experience begins with the core product, which is content. And back to what I said, content is king. In our television unit, we currently use Avid for our post-production work. But when KQED started its digital video unit, the station easily chose Adobe Premiere for all of its post-production work. The choice was simple. It was a cost-effective, cutting-edge program that had an intuitive interface, and with the Adobe Creative Cloud application, it allowed for project sharing, which is a necessity for much of our work. Plus, Adobe has the most relevant suite of products for our production and design teams for dynamic video, graphics, animation, and audio. For radio, we have one system that covers our broadcasting and editing. And for our podcast teams, we all coalesced around Adobe Audition for our curated audio programs. We have teams of podcast producers, and again, the Creative Cloud application allows for that collaborative project sharing that they really want. And Duran is over here, and Duran came to our station, and he invested a lot of time to make our technical broadcast engineers and podcast producers strengthen their skills and fluency in Adobe Audition, and this is one hell of a guy to get to know, so thank you, Duran. Many years ago, our station invested in a media asset management system. While the vision was great, one man to cover the audio and video platforms together, the implementation was a little challenging. The unified system required significant product development, which meant significant development, testing, and validation. And we learned the hard way that there is not one system that can efficiently combine both video and audio together. There are challenges with the hardware, software, and workflow for both of these platforms. But we gave it a good try. So last year, we made the strategic decision to separate the video component from our MAM-centric audio system. With Adobe Premiere and Creative Cloud as the primary tools for digital video production, I was tasked to find a MAM solution that could fulfill our video needs. For KQED's digital content producers and designers, they expressly stated that they need a MAM that complements the wide suite of Adobe products, which we rely on heavily for our productions. Let me show you one example of a KQED education program called Above the Noise that relies heavily on Adobe After Effects.
I'm Miles Best, and Above the Noise is about my journey to cut through the hype and find out what's really going on. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's hard to know who to trust. I mean, social media, the news, even my own Grammy. It seems like everybody's pushing their own agenda. But on this show, we dig through the research and we break down what's going on for you. Is video game addiction really a thing?
Why do some countries have nuclear weapons while others don't?
Why should we care if a species goes extinct? Does anyone really miss the St. Helena earwig? Wait, what is it? What's an earwig? Conspiracy theorists won't offer any evidence of their own. Instead, they put it on you to disprove it. That's literally the opposite of how science works. America's firearms death rate is more than 25 times the rate in other high-income nations. Scientists are estimating we're in the middle of the 6th mass extinction right now. And for the most part, we humans are to blame.
It took some of the brightest scientists of the day and over $22 billion in today's money to make it happen.
Science! So this is what politicians are doing to dilute votes from various communities around the country. You just learned something.
Now look, I'm not an expert. I can't even always give you guys concrete answers. Sometimes there isn't one. Whether you can truly be addicted to video games the same way you can be addicted to heroin or alcohol is up for debate. The research is kinda all over the place.
There's nothing dorky about protecting coral. The Earth is flat.
Oh my God, look how adorable he is!
What are you even talking about?
We've got a new beard oil sponsor. Hold that right up to your face. Perfect.
What do you guys think? Would you lose trust in your favorite YouTube creator if they got paid to endorse products? And what kinds of things would you be willing to do to reduce your water use? Would more research on gun violence really help reduce gun deaths?
Might I suggest you take a deep breath, listen to some chill music, maybe treat yourself to something delicious, and then leave us a comment.
And for all you people over 30, share on Facebook. Keep asking your own questions and stay above the noise, y'all. One of those.
For me, I need a MAM that allows me to concurrently produce in Avid and Adobe and integrates well with its component systems of Adobe software, computer hardware, transcoder, and storage. I was presented many MAM systems that can be custom built to work with all these component systems, but they would be integrated through APIs. And those 3 letters, API, kind of make me a little bit timid. Because I've seen them work well, but I've also seen them fail at many critical points. And with the fast pace of production, I need a MAM that works well now. And I need a MAM system that is reliable and reliably integrates with all those component systems to create a unified post-production ecosystem. All of this is a ton to consider when investing in a MAM, especially in a complicated, diverse media organization such as KQED. And as part of this project, one of my first conversations was with the Adobe Premiere product team, who made some recommendations of MAM systems that integrate well with Adobe. I did my research, and I also engaged with some system integrations companies, and they aided me in the technical research and recommendations. And right now, the one MAM system that has emerged, which can do the functions that our producers need and want, is Evolphin. We are planning to engage with Evolphin for implementation. And from the initial demonstration, presentation, and comprehensive follow-up, Evolphin appears to be best suited for our diverse video and podcast production needs. As I mentioned earlier, I currently need a MAM that can unify my TV and digital video productions, and Evolphin, in conjunction with Telestream, can bridge that Adobe workflow with the Avid workflows. And particularly with digital content production, I currently need a MAM that can seamlessly and reliably work well with 4K video and Adobe After Effects. Let me give you a quick look at the type of production that Evolphin can support.
It happened to me too.
Me too.
The hills are often where the wildfire risk is highest.
After one day, his seizures were down to 30.
So we're going to launch our own satellite to figure out where the pollution is and how we're going to end it.
Evolphin, with its depth of Adobe plugin support, best optimizes our current slate of digital productions. And the one feature that my stakeholders cited as the most important feature is that the system is tried and true and is ready out of the box to use, meaning very little time or no time required for product development. So the primary technical benefit of any good functional MAM system can easily be encompassed in the word efficiency. I don't have to tell you this, but a reliable working MAM will dramatically improve individual and team productivity by removing bottlenecks, simplifying some tasks, and streamlining, even automating many post-production processes. And for KQED, we're moving offices in a few months to a temporary headquarters while our offices undergoes a renovation. So a good MAM will also allow for secure, stable accessibility and workplace flexibility. I said it a few times already, content is king. And I also said that it's not just about putting content out there. Good content is effective, but really good content has an impact. So when I am looking for a MAM, I'm going beyond the criteria of, can it reliably perform its core function to make production more efficient? Instead, I'm also thinking about the strategic benefits of a MAM and how can I maximize and use it to match the organization's goal of expanding audience engagement. I want a MAM that can reliably perform the core functions of a traditional MAM. But as a manager, I want something more nimble. I want to maximize the company's investment. I want the next generation MAM. And the next generation MAM, when deployed with a wider user group, will help with our station's branding, such as this. Oh. Oh. It's not working. All right, we'll move on. And what I am eager to experience with Evolphin is to use the MAM to engage the audience the right way, to enable our social media teams, our marketing teams, our membership teams, and our audience teams to have an early look at content so they can proactively design promotional and social media campaigns to make our content more effective and impactful. That's what it's all about these days with the wide use of media. I'll say it one last time. Content is king. During this time of a relentless news cycle, KQED can only withstand a model of simplified distribution. We are a one-and-done model without much repurposing of content or curating a distribution strategy to maximize the content's effectiveness. Yet, KQED invests significantly in curated content. With approximately 54 digital, radio, television, and podcast programs, KQED doesn't need to make more content. We just need to distribute it and make it more effective. While the primary users of a MAM are content creators, the augmented features of a MAM will shift the focus of utilizing the system from content creation to the distribution and promotion functionalities of the MAM. The next generation MAM, like Evolphin, will make the distribution of our content more efficient and maximize our content's effectiveness through better engagement. At KQED, we report the news and we tell stories. We take pride and work hard to preserve that trust and be a trusted source of news for Northern California. When we inform, the audience is enlightened. When we teach, our students learn and grow. When we share stories, we want our audience in turn to feel inspired and to engage and to hopefully take it upon themselves to produce positive change for others. All of this starts with good content. I want to say thanks again to Evolphin and Adobe for inviting me to the Adobe stage to share my work. But mostly I want to thank you for your time. It's been a privilege. Thank you for listening. All of us here at NAB have an important job, or have important jobs, to create and share good content, whether that's news to inform or to tell stories to entertain. And I am glad to be on this creative journey with all of you. Thank you very much.